On this episode of This is Gravel, Neil and I are back in the studio talking bikepacking.
We're here, Matt, and I've been having some good times eating some pancakes.
You have been eating some big pancakes while out bikepacking. That and so much more on this episode of This is Gravel. Neil, it's June. It's late June. We're back in the studio.
Holy moly, where did the time go, Matt?
Time flew off the calendar, literally.
Yeah, I honestly, I blinked and June was here and gone that fast.
I think we've talked about this on a lot of episodes leading up to it. I truly think it's one of those deals where things reopened.
Yeah.
And it took off.
Yeah, you really look at like the last, not just even the last month, the last 2 months, I would say, for at least my life, have literally just flashed by so fast. There have been so many things going on through May and June within my just personal life that has made it so that getting here to even sit down with you to talk bikes, to talk bike packing, to talk the things that we've been up to has been near impossible. And it really isn't slowing down going into July.
Yeah, I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I think it's funny. You just pointed it out right before we hit record. And we've sat in here for about an hour before filming this, literally because we have not seen each other hardly, maybe at church a week or two ago. But we have not seen each other in almost 3 weeks because you've been at church camp. I've been on the road the last week with the wife on a vacation. Like,
yeah.
And we were spending like 6 to 8 hours a week on a bike together.
I would say I think actually the last time that I've seen Matt was probably the first Sunday in June, because I think your father filmed the one after that right before, or streamed that one for the broadcast right after that, if I'm not mistaken. And so I feel like it's been real long. Maybe we saw each other at church for a few minutes, but it has been just that, a few minutes.
We have not had social time in June.
No. Again, we look back, actually, we were talking about it. We look back, the last time that we rode bikes was when we bike packed out to Council Grove at the beginning of the month.
Which was the Thursday before Unbound.
Yes.
If that gives any perspective at all on how long it's been.
Which just seems, to again, in part almost
Side note, that vlog drops later this week if you want to know how far behind I am.
Yes, but it seems like ancient history almost that was that long ago because, again, like you mentioned, I direct elementary church camp for a bunch of kids every summer. We have a church camp up by Harveyville, up there in the Flint Hills, up there not too far off of where actually the Unbound course went through. Beautiful area up there. Absolutely love it. But that consumes usually my entire
What was
June.
the gravel like?
So the only gravel I got
or does anybody care for another 11 months what the gravel was like in Wabunsee County?
The only gravel I got to experience was the one that I got to walk on all the way out to the mailbox every day as I was doing a lot of walking up there. But I've rode up there many a times. It is fantastic gravel up there. But that just kept me busy. And then, like you say, you've been out in Colorado, hanging out, enjoying last little bit of having just you and the missus around, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we've actually said it on the show or anything, but my wife and I are expecting our first child, a baby girl, in the last week of August. I think we can all do the math, and there's a really big event that week, but it doesn't matter because we're expecting a baby girl and can't be more excited. So the wife and I got just a week long out to Denver and Colorado Springs and some places out just to get away. And let me tell you, like the first half of the pregnancy, I was all good. I was super chill, not a lot, but like the 1st of June and right there at Unbound week, like it truly hit me. Like the nesting phase, I guess is what it's called. And it was like, not like getting the room ready. It was like, let's tear out all the carpet and finish the hardwood floors in the house. Like that's where I've been on a lot of that and just trying to get ready for things like that.
Well, and you don't realize how quick that time ultimately goes.
Dude, it flies by.
Like, I remember finding out when we were on a bike ride, and you were kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to go up to Gravel Worlds in August. We'll see. And I'm like, dude, why wouldn't you be there? Like, of course you're going to be there. And I started doing the math on the bike when we're riding. And again, it's flown by. Since that conversation we had has just flown by.
With that, to be clear on the Gravel Worlds, we're still going to have a crew.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sending a photographer, videographer. Neil's going to be up there doing the 75. I'm still hoping to get up at least and do the 75-mile route, the Privateer, I believe it is, and film it maybe with one of the promoters sometime in July before the event and release a preview for it so that way I can still get out, enjoy the Nebraska countryside before baby comes. But we'll still be there. We will still be in full force at the event and really looking forward to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Absolutely. Make sure, I mean, like you say, you're going to have a crew up there. I'll be up there. My plan's to have the Gravel Guru hat on afterwards so folks will be able to see me. Yes, that hat, actually. There we go. That works. Is this my hat now?
It was my hat.
Well, we'll put it back here for now. You can have it later.
You can have that hat.
Sweet. Man, how many of these things you got over there, Matt? Enough?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so yeah, no, I'll be around definitely, having a good time. Gravel Guru will have a presence there. One of the things, we mentioned this back at the beginning of the year, we weren't going to be doing as much race coverage. We wanted to do bikepacking. We love bikepacking, but we also still do love the events. Events are still going to be part of our lives. There are still a lot of events coming up. We haven't been in the studio filming a full-length show. We did a little bit of bikepacking stuff, and we did a light giveaway.
Yeah.
But we haven't even been in the show since I did an event. I actually, was out and did that event out the open range out in Pratt, Kansas. And
that's still up on the website, by the way, titled Rough Rider, the Open Range 200 Bikepacking Tour. Neil did a great vlog out there kind of showing us the countryside and showing us kind of the behind the scenes of the bikepacking experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a blast up there, had a blast getting to film it. It was interesting because when we rolled out, everybody that was part of the tour, because the tour rolls out Friday morning, everybody was under the understanding that we are just touring our bikes and we are out having a good time. We aren't going fast. We aren't, trying to put down some crazy pace and beat each other to Buster's to get a cheeseburger or to beat each other to go get a shower and clean up at the end of the day where we stayed at the ranch. Like, people were just taking it chill, relaxed, paced, having a great time out there. And I'll tell you, it was just enjoyable. It was great to get to actually slow down and see that area. I rode fast through that area in 2018 when I actually raced the event on my single speed. This time, I just got to soak in the hills down there and got to really enjoy it. And it's on my list for 2022. I will be back at Open Range, no doubt.
That was April, right?
End of April, yeah. Last weekend of April.
That sounds ideal. I've never made it out there before. Okay. It and Pony Express are two that are on my list that I have to make it to.
Talking about events, Pony Express, I actually got it registered here for recently, so I'll be out there doing their 200K tour as well. They also have a bikepacking thing just like they have for Open Range, and so I'll be out there for that as well. And again, I like it's a great length, I think, to be able to go out and knock out, big miles one day, still pretty big miles the second day, but just camp and relax and have a good time in between with people that are kind of like-minded, that don't feel like you have to go out and just torture yourself for the 130 miles, but enjoy it, party pace it, have a good time, have conversation.
Yeah.
So
that's, I know a lot of people have probably seen us change with the event coverage. And I think part of that is like, you look back, this is our 6th season of Gravel Guru here. And you look back over the history of it, like the first season we did 13 episodes, then 20, and then 25, and then we brought Neil on and did 40 that next season, and then last year where we did a handful kind of due to the pandemic and whatnot. But I think the thing that was hard on race coverage is, and I'm not saying we're done with race coverage by any means at all. We'll still have plenty of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm very much one that sets a calendar for a year. A lot of times I sit down on a spreadsheet, and we usually do it in December or so. You've been a part of it before. I share a Google Doc, and we list out all the events we want to go to for the year and kind of build the show schedule around it. And let me tell you, December, January, we didn't know what events were going to happen. And a lot of events pushed to the fall this year. And, so that's made it really hard to kind of schedule some things.
We didn't know. There was hope still in December and January that Mid-South, for instance, was going to happen. That's hard if you have to start booking hotel rooms and booking crew and other things to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. A lot of coverage you might see will be more, for instance, I'm just going to do a small event here in the coming week. I might film some on my phone while racing it or riding it or whatever I end up doing.
That's talking out loud on that stuff. Our coverage will look different in the past.
It will. Absolutely.
Gravel Guru has always been a hobby for me and will be a hobby for me type deal. And we used to have sponsors on board and we loved it, Loft. And all of those great companies we've had in the past.
Yeah.
Emporia CVB back in the day, that was our first sponsor for the first couple of years there, when we really talked a lot about one specific event and then realized there's a whole lot of crazy, great events out there across the Midwest that we travel to. But probably scaling down how many people we take to events.
Yeah, and like you say, you'll have a crew out at Gravel Worlds filming and doing some work there. When I'm out there riding the 75 that day, I'm sure I'll be active on either my social media or maybe I'll pirate the Gravel Guru one that day and do some coverage through the race that day. So we'll keep putting out things of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
We aren't completely abandoning the race world. I would say this year has been transitional, but also we needed to transform a little bit this year too with just everything that life has thrown at us. You could not have committed to a bunch of events at the beginning of this year.
I tried to.
I know, but but knowing that, hey, there's a baby on the way.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big responsibility. That's a lot of things that you have to take care of and get done. And so it was so much easier to kind of just pull back for a little bit, still give some event love here and there, but really focus on something that I would say we both enjoyed a whole lot, getting to do ourselves, getting to do with other people, and that's been the bikepacking.
And that's a perfect segue. So Neil talked about it. We filmed a vlog, and we actually have a ton of footage as I was sitting down editing it today before I came into the studio. I hope that comes through in the video is about the bikepacking. I think really for me, and I think Neil might echo this, was kind of a reset button this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There was a point where I was afraid 6 months ago, are we going to ride bikes again? We hit that burnout, we hit that wall. So I'm hoping the passion for the bikepacking comes through. That was a fun night, and let's transition a little bit into 12 Nights Under the Stars here as we're talking about it. Well, let's break down a little bit of that trip we went on here at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And why was that trip fun for you, Neil?
It was fun for me. So we rode up to Council Grove, and you'll see that again when the full-length video releases. We rode up to Council Grove. It's an area that you and I have ridden up to quite frequently. We do it
less than 30 times.
I was going to say we do at least probably 5 to 10 trips per summer month. Summer months up there. We do it's a nice one to hit sometimes after work when we have daylight lasting later into the day, and maybe ride back in the dark. And so we've done those so many times, but it's right up there. It's stopping at the gas station. It's grab whatever we need to refuel to get back, and it's jump back and go. And we haven't really ever stopped and got to enjoy the town, got to enjoy the area, and I got to enjoy it. I got to see things that I've lived here in this area for 9.5 years of my life that I didn't even know existed.
That's the thing is like if someone would needed to have gone home or anything, we were no more than a 30-minute drive from home type deal. But the fact is, the nice thing about Council Grove is it's one of the few towns that you can ride to like that, and an evening couple-hour ride, fully loaded with bikes, to a town that has amenities.
Yeah.
So many of our lakes like Redding or Opie, you're hoping a gas station at Opie's open late enough, which we've had some struggles with in the past. But it's one of those ones that we went to a nice... we went to a sit-down restaurant, kind of a bar, grill.
Grill, yeah.
And it's a small-town establishment. Like, if you've been to a small town, you know exactly the type of place we're talking about.
The studio is probably just about the same size. Everything that side of the camera plus what you're seeing out here.
Yeah.
About the same size.
And this is not a big room. It's like 12 feet by 20 feet, this room.
Yeah.
And they had 3 or 4 dining room tables in there, and there were families. It was everything, but terrific food. But the fact is, we stopped there, we got food, then we went and worried about camp.
Yeah, we took care of camp. We then rode back into town and took care of ourselves. Got some ice cream, and but it was a different pace. We got to have some fun. We got to have some, small here and there conversations with some of the folks that are local to the Council Grove area. And you won't see those on film necessarily. No. I think maybe I broke down that a little bit in some post-conversation, but just folks wondering what you're doing and just getting to have that conversation with them about it and get to talk about bikepacking. And so many of them were like, wow, that sounds like an awesome idea.
Highlight of the whole thing, Friday morning, we're trying to get back to town. We stop at the cafe, and this is the funniest part. Like, if you've been to small-town Kansas, you know this. We were kind of being foodies and Instagramming our food. Oh, yeah. If you watched the story, you saw this stuff.
Pancakes this big, by the way.
There was this lady. She could not believe Neil and I were taking pictures of our food in this restaurant.
Yeah, pancake, like I say, man, that big of a pancake, I'm going to take a picture of that regardless, okay? Like, even if I'm not vlogging or putting it out on Instagram, like, that was a massive pancake that I got to show the kids.
Yeah.
We love pancakes in my house. But, yeah, we're sitting there, we're taking some photos, and she's a booth away, okay? I mean, not honestly much further than Matt and I even are right now. And she's just giggling and laughing and just talking about these guys taking pictures of their food.
Well, and you're kind of in street clothes, and you were wearing more relaxed.
I'm probably dressed in about what I am today, honestly.
Correct.
Something very similar. I had
and here I am. I missed this memo, so I'm in full bibs and a race jersey at the Saddlebrook Cafe there, and I had a little too less denim than I needed to fit in.
Yeah, we definitely stuck out a little bit. Now, it did help us at least a bit, maybe, is that the fact that it was Unbound Week, so there were other cyclists actually at the cafe that morning. They weren't fully bibbed or kitted up by any means, but there were bikes rolling through town. People at least maybe were a little bit more aware to the cyclist presence within the area. But, you know, I just was in a very relaxed mode. I wanted to relax on the bike. I feel like I did relax on the bike and I felt like I had fun. We just had a good time on the bike. And I was happy. I think that was my 4th night I had knocked out at the time. I've got 5 of the 12 now, so I'm getting closer. You're up to 3. Wow. I didn't know if I thought you are at 3. That's right.
Didn't we do 2 at Opie and 1 in Council Grove?
Nope, you're right. We did.
I'm 25% of there with a baby coming in August. I'm good to go.
No. Who knows? You might get there. We'll see. I got faith in you, Matt.
But I made cool stickers for it.
You did make cool stickers. You'll get there too. But the thing, even we said at the beginning of this, even if people don't get to the 12, get out more.
I think, and make sure you head over to gravelguru.com/under-the-stars. Get signed up. Absolutely get signed up. You can win an awesome $200 headlamp from Light in Motion. I cannot say enough great things about how Light in Motion have supported us and helped push this out on their platforms, but we knew this would be hard. We knew this would be really hard to hit 12 nights for a lot of people. There's some people that have blown through it. Let me be clear. There are people that have blown through it already, but I have a feeling they at least did 12 nights last year. They didn't start out doing 30 nights a year, 40 nights a year out on the bike, but we knew it would be hard, and we knew it might not be obtainable for some, but that's why we set a goal.
You know, last year I think I did 3 nights the entire year. I know, yeah. You did 1. We did it together. I might have only done 2 nights, then I'm thinking back about it, honestly. And so I did very little myself. And I was inspired by seeing somebody else that tried to get out there once a week for an entire year, do it 52 times. Just mind-blowing to me, especially total different life situations, too. Let's be very clear about that. Me, married, 2 kids, not able to just go off and do 1 a week right now, at least at this point in life. But to just inspire and hopefully get more people out there. And I'll be honest, we have gotten, again, we've mentioned this, I believe, when we gave out the first light in that video, but I'm just blown away by how many people have signed up for this. And not just have signed up for it, but actually are going out and doing it too. They're not just like, you know what, we signed up, hoping we could win a free light, sweet, you know.
Yeah, I really don't, I was worried about that. And I think some of the people helping us with the sign up were worried about that too, of we wanted genuine people involved in trying to get started. And we're going to set up challenges here. And in June, all you have to do is be signed up again like in May. Hopefully in July on, we start setting some challenges, some nights. And it might not be, oh, Neil, do you have your 9 nights in because you're not eligible yet?
Yeah.
No, it might be, what's the best photo you've taken while bikepacking?
Let's see it,
something
share it
like
out
that.
there,
Or someone send in a video of their own trip, to qualify for it. So lots of different ideas because we want this to be open and accessible.
But again, I encourage you guys, like Matt has said, just go register right now. If you haven't done it again, gravelguru.com/under-the-stars. One of these lights, again, these Viz 360 Pros are fantastic. I love them. Again, I put one on my helmet. I use it now anytime I'm out bikepacking. I love it at night, definitely, just because I didn't think I would, and we've talked about that before, but I just love it. So again, make sure that you're registered for that because we are not too much further from another drawing. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Matt, it is the end of June, and at the end of June, we get to do another drawing, don't we?
We do. We do get to do another one. We should do that this week.
probably be a good idea, Matt.
because it's the end of June now.
And then I'm going to be gone for another week on vacation.
Okay. That being said, our next episode, we're going to drop it probably the 5th or 6th of July there. We're going to film it here later this week. It'll come out Monday the 5th.
Wait, we're doing June episode and July episode coming up back to back?
Did I say that?
I think so.
Okay, July episode, but we're going to go old school Gravel Guru with this one.
That's right.
Do you know what it's going to be?
I think I remember you mentioning this to me.
Well, I think we do a Q&A episode.
Okay.
All week you're going to see us put out on Instagram, Facebook. We're looking for Q&A questions. Q&A questions and also maybe video ideas. I have a couple ideas for videos I'd like to knock out here this summer in July. Not sure if it's feasible or not. One of them being, and I'm going to ask this to you live. What about doing a video on one? They're both bikepacking related because that's kind of where my head's at lately on content. Is bikepacking on a budget. My idea is, what if we break out our budget bikes, the bikes we started on, and go to Opie for a night?
Okay, so I don't have that bike anymore. Sold that one. Sold the next one, but I could break out the single speed.
Break out the
state.
single speed? I've got my 26-inch Trek 3700. Like, I think we see if we can do it because I want bikepacking to be open. I don't want people to think they have to have a $500 tent because it's got the bikepacking sticker and logo on it to get out and bikepack for a night.
Okay.
Yes, you might want it if you're out on the Tour Divide or wherever you're at, but to go to a place like Opie or Redding, do you need all that setup?
No, yeah, I think that would be interesting to get to see to do, and how we could do the setups as far as what we bring down with us. I could definitely bring. I've still got my budget tent that no longer has a rain fly.
Yeah.
So playing a little bit of rolling of the dice depending on what the weather situation's like. But I think, you could definitely bike pack on a budget and see how it could go.
So bikepacking on a budget is one idea, and then also very much a similar thought is the cost of bikepacking.
Okay.
Where I think we bring in our rigs because I think you and I have very modest rigs.
Yeah.
For bikepacking, we've invested in the bags.
Correct.
We invested in our bikes, but our bikes were not bikepacking specific bikes.
No.
I mean, yeah, I'm on a Fargo, which is pretty well designed for it.
Correct. But you didn't buy it with that
But
intention.
it's got like 8,000 miles of gravel not bikepacking on it.
Or more, actually.
Yeah.
I mean.
So those are some of the ideas. I want Q&A questions in the comments below. We're going to sit down at the end of the week, film a Q&A episode. We're going to give away a light, so make sure you're signed up. gravelguru.com/under the stars, 12 nights of bikepacking. Get signed up. So many countries represented, so many states represented.
Dude, mind-blowing, absolutely. Again, I know I mentioned that already, but it's mind-blowing that over half of the states within the United States are represented. The fact that we have a ton of people from Canada, we've got folks from Australia, we got folks from the Netherlands now. I mean, the fact that this little old show here in Emporia with you and me sitting around coming up with this crazy idea of going out and bikepacking under the stars for 12 nights, that we've got folks from all over the world that are taking part of this, that are enjoying it, that are having a good time, and I'm absolutely blown away, Matt.
Well, and I think the best part about it is once you get signed up, you get access to the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And literally why we've been in here, Ty Bragg posted, good buddy up in Kansas City, they've been out under the stars. Jennifer Kilburn, they've been out, they got nights 3, 4, and 5, and she posted this week. And that's up in Ontario, I believe.
Yeah.
Canada,
yep.
So, just seeing people all over and seeing it, and there's a lot of questions being asked.
Yes.
So get signed up, get involved. Any parting thoughts on this show, Neil?
Again, I'm glad that we got to, get back here in the studio, got to chat with folks, kind of update folks on what's been going on. Part of the reason I will say get out and bike pack is because just take the opportunity to slow down. Life has been so busy for us that as I look back, that trip that we had at the beginning of June up to Council Grove was so, so important to just slow down and take a breath and just relax, because literally the last 25 days or whatever have flown by. And if I didn't have that break at the beginning of the month, who knows what those 25 days could have been like.
I echo your comments on that was a reset when you and I both needed it.
Yeah.
Coming out of the school year, I mean, it was a reset, and it felt good to get out. But anyways, that vlog will be out probably Thursday of this week, so look forward to that. We'll share it on all the Gravel Guru platforms. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, sign up for Under the Stars, and keep watching.